What is going on? I'm Cole and welcome back to my channel. This week we're going to be doing another Bearded and Cole's cover challenge. So if you want to know what we're going to have as our theme, make sure you stick around through the intro.
Better put your word out. Get ready for the nerd out. Better put specs on. Better break necks on. I cut handsome checks for my expansion sets. They call me Obi-Wan. Act like you know me, son. Snapping.
All right, so I know that I told you I'd give you the theme first, but before I do that, I want you to go down below, if you haven't already. I have a link to the CBC Awards. Bearded and I are both nominated for the best collab under 1,000 subs, and we would love it if you went there and voted. And you don't necessarily have to vote for us, but we are probably the best show in that division. I'm just kidding. There are a ton of other great shows there too, but, you know, hey, we really enjoy what we do here, and we know that a lot of people join us and have fun doing this. So if you enjoy it, make sure to go there and vote. And if not, just look over the other categories, vote for them. I think you don't even have to vote for all of them. So, hey, vote for some that you know and you like, and maybe you can learn about some other channels there. But it is November, so what a better topic than to do fights. You know, Thanksgiving is coming up, so when your weird political uncle gets drunk and, you know, a fist fight starts at the dinner table, this is what we're trying to represent in these covers. And yeah, with comics, there are a ton of great ones. I know that this is actually a topic that was brought to us by somebody who has watched the show, and big shout out to Dale of Suspense. I'll have his channel down below, and probably over here too. So make sure to go over there, give him a sub, and say, hey, we'd like to see you do some fight covers, or as you like to say, clobbering time. All right, well, you came here to see these covers and not to hear me ramble. So let's get to the first cover. First off, I have here, this is 20 Fists. This is issue 3 of 3. So if you did not know, 20 Fists is a pretty good indie comic that is about kind of these two street gangs that just get together and do fist fights. That is literally what they're doing. And as you can see in this cover, we've got just a bunch of people in their fist fights. I really enjoyed this book when it was coming out, and yeah, it was a pretty fun one. And I just remembered that when I was thinking about this theme, that book came to mind, and this was definitely one of the best covers showing fights. Now, if you know, both Bearded and I are both a fan of one particular character that we both really like, and I could probably fit this entire segment with covers with Batman, but one of the ones that I had to show off is this All-Star Batman. This is issue number 5. This is from Jock, and yeah, there's a lot of good covers from this series that Jock does of just Batman fighting people, but I figure this, you know, uppercut, I think there's one where he's got a boot to the face that looks like it could possibly be Two-Face on the cover, but this one is just, you know, the uppercut. He's flying through the air. This kind of just represents fighting to me. So I had to pick this one, and I kind of love the all red cover. I think all the ones before this were all white that Jock did, but this is the first one that he has a red background on. So seeing as I do these in alphabetical order, I figured why not go back-to-back Batman books. This is issue number 3 from the New 52 Batman. And yeah, you've got Batman. You've got the Talon on the cover. This is, I think this cover is done by, yep, it's Greg Capullo. And yeah, I love this. I think this is one of those covers because Batman is one of those characters where I really, you know of him from, like, you know, some of the awesome fight covers. This was kind of one of the ones that I thought about. It's pretty simple, like, you know, most of these have been fairly simple, but it's just a good one-on-one action as he's trying to grab the knife and not get stabbed. All right, so I know that we were talking about a lot of Batman stuff, and I've got one more Batman for you. And I think usually when people think of like iconic fights with Batman, there's one character that you usually think about, and I think that's kind of Bane. And this one is sweet. You know, usually I tried to take, you know, fights where Batman maybe looks like he's winning, but I don't know. There's something about the way that this Batman logo is getting shattered, as you know, Bane is just kind of throwing them up in the air. This is done by Tony Daniels, who also did the interior art on this, and this is from the City of Bane arc, which Tom King did. I don't know, I just love this. I knew that I wanted to have a cover with Bane on it, because when I kind of think of fighters, Bane is sort of that one that I think of, even though, you know, he is also very intelligent. This just kind of stuck out to me. So apparently I have a theme where I am doing a lot of back-to-back characters. So we've got two characters that are very notable for fighting in sort of the Marvel universes. One of them is no longer there, but we've got this awesome cover. I don't know if you remember when Conan was coming back. This is, Conan the Barbarian versus Hulk. And I think, when you think about Marvel, Hulk is kind of that person that I think about, in fighting, whether it be Hulk or Wolverine. But I had this cover in my collection. I think this was one of the random covers that I just bought because I liked it so much. And it looks like this might be In-Hyuk Lee. So yeah, I really like this cover. I thought this was pretty cool. Hopefully Gary B, shout out to him. He'll probably love this cover. And I don't know, maybe he's never actually seen this, but I would guess that when all these Conan versus covers came out for Marvel, he probably had his eyes on a lot of them, as I think that was a pretty big thing as Conan returned to the Marvel world. So my counterpart in this cover challenge, Bearded Comic Bro, his most definitely got a cover from the series, and if he doesn't, then I'm kind of calling him out on it, because this is like his favorite thing, and I knew that I had to put a cover from this on it. And we've got here is Marvel versus DC. This is issue number 3. I kind of love this because it does have Hulk versus Superman, and those are like the two guys, from each of the universes, if you're gonna have them in a battle. I was trying to find a good Superman battle cover that I have, and I don't have a ton of comic books with Superman in them, but this one really stood out. You've got Spider-Man and Superboy, you got Wonder Woman and Storm, you got Batman versus Captain America, and Lobo and Wolverine. So all out, you kind of see all the little fights that were happening in this story, and I thought this was a really cool showcase of the fighting from this. So there's a storyline that was so big into fighting that they brought people to a planet called Battle Planet, and that was Superhero Secret Wars number 8. And yeah, as you can see, you've got all of the Marvel superheroes fighting in the background. We got more of the Hulk here because I didn't have enough that I just needed 3 issues in a row with him. I know that this is a cover that gets swiped all the time, and I think that's kind of like what's kind of cool about it, because most of the time everyone's just looking at this black suit Spider-Man, but if you notice in the background, you've got so many different Marvel heroes and villains fighting back there that I just really wanted to show this off. And sorry, that kind of got here, but let's get a little bit closer to this. Hopefully we can kind of pick it up and you can kind of see all the extras of people fighting back there. Now this cover is one that I guess it doesn't necessarily like scream fight, because there isn't an actual fight happening on it, but I guess when you kind of think of a fight, there's kind of this one pose and this one thing, and I don't know, I was looking through all my covers trying to figure it out, and this one just kind of screamed something that I needed to have on this list. And this is Moon Knight number 189. This is from the Max Bemis run, and I just kind of love how Moon Knight's knuckles are covered in blood, like he's just been getting out of the fight, and there's a guy behind him that's kind of sneaking up here. But this was kind of one of those. I love this cover. This cover is just awesome in the way that it presents, and yeah, it just kind of screams that fight. It kind of reminds you of some bare knuckle boxing that is just fantastic part. And I don't know, this is one of my favorite Moon Knight covers, so I really wanted to show it off, and I'm glad that it really fit into this challenge. Another thing I think that Bearded and I both have in common is that some of the stuff that we try and collect now in our comic collecting phases is kind of some of the stuff that we're very nostalgic on. And I've been slowly trying to piece together the full run of the series, because this is a series that I really remember. This is the first comic I remember buying off the shelf because of a very iconic fight that is, I would say that this is debatably the greatest crossover and the greatest fight of all time, and that is Ren and Stimpy Show. This is Spider-Man versus the Powdered Toast Man. You got Ren down here looking at him and Stimpy like, oh my gosh, who's going to win this? But this is from my childhood collection. If you can see, there's definitely some, this is definitely not a 9.5. There's some like scuffs up here, some beat up. This was a book that I just read and I loved as a kid. I saw this cover and it was everything that I loved about childhood. So when I was putting together a fight one, this was one that I kind of had the teetering on and off. Is this going to make the cut? And let me tell you what, it did make the cut. All right, and the final book of all. And once again, I just kind of do these in alphabetical order, so there's really no rhyme or reason for why I pick a cover or what order it goes in, other than, alphabetical order. So the final one, this is The Walking Dead. This is issue number, I think I want to say this is issue 53. This was the 15-year variant, but I just love what's going on. We've got an axe coming down on the zombies. It's crushed. So yeah, this was, Abraham was a great character, and, it's just fighting zombies as opposed to people fighting. But hey, a fight is a fight no matter what. And this is kind of one of those where I kind of wanted to incorporate some non-superhero stuff. And this is one where I actually have, it's actually sitting right here. So let's show it off. I actually had the black and white one. Then I was kind of like, oh, this is pretty cool. I should incorporate this. But then I think that when I also have the color version, I just kind of like that one a little bit more with the color in it. It just kind of showcases the characters and shows the fight a little bit better. So once again, those were my 10 covers, count them 10, for the theme of fight. I didn't go over what you need to do. So if you're new here and you have not seen one of these cover challenges, please maybe too consider subscribing and hitting that like if you enjoyed what you saw. But let's get to how we do these challenges. So they're very simple. There are very little rules. One of them is just get 10 covers. The next rule is that it has to be out of your collection. So make sure you have it to show us. And the other one is just, have fun. Do covers that you love. None of these covers, some of these covers are worth money, sort of, but none of the covers that I picked, all of them just were covers that I enjoyed for the theme of fight. I know a lot of the things that we do is we try and pick covers that maybe aren't covers that everyone loves or people just show all the time. We just want to show interesting covers and get other people in the community to do this. So if you end up making a video, make sure to tag both Bearded and I on YouTube. Or if you don't make YouTube videos, but you watch us and you have an Instagram, I think you can max out 10 pictures. So take 10 different pictures, tag us on Instagram. We'll make sure to help share that video of yours and, promote these videos. I normally have a playlist. You can probably find it down below. And when this video ends, it'll probably be hanging out there. You can go there, watch all the other people joining the cover. I love to see everyone join us. And please, join. If you join, go and watch the other people. Give them a thumb. Let them know which covers are your favorites out of them. The best thing about this is just kind of seeing people show their passion and their love for comics. And that's why Bearded and I continue to make these. So once again, this is our top cover challenge for the theme of fight. Let me know down below, of all of mine, which ones were your favorite? Which one was the worst? Do you agree that Spider-Man and Powdered Toast Man is the most epic battle of all time ever? I definitely do not feel that way, but hey, in the moment, sometimes you say some silly things. So once again, I have been Cole. Thank you for coming back to my channel. And as always, peace.
Better put your word out. Get ready for the nerd out. Better put specs on. Better break necks, son. I cut handsome checks for my expansion sets. They call me Obi-Wan. Act like you know me, son. Snap